let's hop into more Petvivo as a macro investment, but also looking at kind of all the other investment angles that come into play here. I know you're big in the investment world. At one point working on a trading floor. So let's talk about Petvivo as an investment. Do you want to kind of give the macro elements to pets, vet clinics, and how things have changed over even the past couple of years, 5 to 10 years?
Sure. So if you look at the industry, in 1994 it was about 17 billion. Today you're looking at north of 75 billion. So that's a pretty tremendous growth rate. So in the last 5 years, we've grown in excess of 5% a year. So it's pretty recession proof. Also, if you look at the changes within our demographics, less and less people are getting married, less and less people are having kids, so their pets become their kids. And that's supported by a study that was done by one of the investment firms, showing what the dollar amount was that the consumer is willing to spend versus putting their dog down. 10 years ago, it was a little bit more than $900. Today, that dollar amount is $2,100. So you're showing there is much more of a family approach, that the pets are considered part of the family and they'll do whatever it takes to increase the quality of life. And the valuations or the stocks have performed very well. The large ones that are in this space, you look at Blue Diamond, they were acquired at 7.5 times sales. The price valuation of the larger public companies are 4.5 times sales right now trading. So takeouts are going out at quite the premium. So if you look at Petvivo now, let's go down. If you compare Petvivo to other companies in its category, the earlier stage, they generally have 1 or 2 patents. We have like 18 patents on a global basis. If you look at the product pipeline, we have 16 products in the pipeline, each one probably addressing more than $1 billion a year, and that we feel we have a better efficacy and a safety profile versus the competitors. The competitors are still in clinical stages generally, and their valuations generally is significantly higher than ours. We're probably, in my opinion, trading at a 90% discount to the market. So when you look at it from that standpoint, the biggest risk in any medical device, medical technology company is the regulatory side. We have pretty much eliminated the regulatory risk because of our human clinicals. We were able to get the FDA to declare our product as a device. And with that certification going into the animal side, it's an automatic exemption where you just have to do a labeling, send it to the FDA, wait 30 days. If they don't comment, your labeling is considered okay to use. When you find in governmental regulatory agencies, they never give you a clearance. It just says, we have no more questions, go ahead and sell. They do that at the SEC level. When you file an S1 to raise money, they just says, we have no more comments, go ahead. So people says, well, don't you have an approval letter? I said, well, nobody ever gets an approval letter. So, but we're selling the product through. And so that's one of the biggest risks. If you look at our competitors, I won't name them, but several of them went into phase 2. They were valuations of $200 million to $1 billion, and they failed their final phase clinicals. They failed their clinicals, and those stocks were still trading at 100 million or higher, while we're sitting here at 8-9 million valuation. So you can see the comparable, the risk rewards, and also you got to look at management. With me, I've not taken a salary since probably October of 2018. I just let the salary accumulate, and then I converted to stock options at the market price. So if you look at my Form 4 filings with the SEC, my last conversion was at 48 cents. And you see other directors that have been in the market buying the stock. So basically, management, directors, shareholders are all aligned in where they're going to make their money is the performance of the company and the stock.
Yeah, and interesting. I think that's you touched on a lot of things there. The biggest part, I mean, you just finished saying, you know, bet on management. That is betting on the company themselves, right? So
Hmm.
that they win when everyone else wins. And especially they win when investors win. So I think that's fantastic that you guys are, trying to take bigger bites. That's awesome. And you touched on something cool. I want to kind of go back and really just talk about, the fact that people are spending more money on pets. And it's true. I mean, think of it. I don't have a pet, but I realize how much more money people are spending. Even hearing stories about friends, family, that they're spending X amount of dollars here, X amount of dollars there on, you name it, different operations, different this, different that. Clearly, it's a growing space. And hey, something cool about Petvivo, like you said, if you can extend the life expectancy of someone's pet by 2 to 3 years using your product, hey, that's a lot of amazing time that gets spent with owners or whatever it is. So I think that's a big part of a selling feature as well. That's fantastic. And yeah, is there anything else you want to kind of say on the macro or even investment level for Petvivo?
Sure. Well, I kind of want to follow up what you just said about extending 3 years, 2 or 3 years. It's not just extending, it's improving the quality of life of the animal, because it's one thing if a dog can't move around and you're extending it for 2, 3 years, it's not enjoying its life. If you're restoring its mobility, that is really creating the quality of life for both the consumer and the dog. And that's what we're focused on, and that's the type of results we're seeing, and it makes you feel good. And it's a feel good story across the board. In terms of when we inject service dogs, you're basically providing a $30,000 service dog serviceability of 2 to 3 years more for the soldier, that have PTSD in that case. And it's very stressful for a soldier when you have to take a dog away and train a new dog in during that phase. So if we can eliminate or minimize a lot of that. One way of looking at our product, how disruptive it is if you look at the space between stem cell treatment, when we look at the spectrum of treatments for osteoarthritis, we look at stem cells and then joint replacement. There is a void there. There's really nothing there. If the stem cells are not working, then you got to do the replacement. We feel there's $1 billion a year more just in that segment that no one else is competing in, where we can do the injection, where our injection is typically $500-600, and prolong the need to do a joint replacement for 2-3 years down the road. What a tremendous cost savings that is, because a joint replacement is anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000. So we feel there's a void that we can create and start educating the vets. You don't have to go to surgery when the stem cells aren't improving.
Yeah, no, it's true. Hey, why not spend $400 or $500 instead of 6,000? I think it's a pretty easy choice. So it makes a lot of sense. Well, I mean, awesome. I don't have any more questions for you. I think you did a great job, pointing out, like you said, I think it's important for people to look at other things in the industry. And even if you don't know the industry that well, obviously Google's a great resource, but still, I think you guys are a fantastic investment opportunity, and I hope that other people start to research Petvivo a little bit more.
Well, thank you, Jason.